you ever lost something or someone that has caused you a lot of trouble?
Oh my God, yes. I lost my family when I came to Bombay to be an actress. I lost their support, I lost their love.
Did you always have this devil may care attitude?
When you're growing up, you're so naive at the time because you haven't faced the world. You lead a very protected, sheltered life. I thought I can conquer. Dekhi jayegi. Coming from Haryana, that Jat mindset, I rebelled and I packed my suitcase and I set out for Bombay. Dekhi jayegi. But it worked out luckily for me. And the same attitude I had when I went to the US.
Mallika, again, looking back at your career, it's been what, almost 19 years now?
Oh gosh.
I mean, when you put it in that perspective,
Don't
it seems
say
so long.
19 years. Don't say that. ये edit कर देना please. Edit कर देना ये.
Hello everyone, welcome to ETimes. I'm Rachit Gupta. Joining me for our conversation today is Mallika Sherawat. The Mallika Sherawat. She's doing something completely different. It's a totally new kind of film. So let's just jump into that conversation. Hi Mallika, how are you doing?
Hi Rachit, thank you for having me.
Same here. So Mallika, when I first saw the trailer of RKAY, it looks like a very complex film. It looks like something that you will not instantly get it.
Right.
So when you first sort of read the film,
right,
or the film was narrated to you, what was your reaction and how did you deal with the complexity of the subject?
First of all, what a great question. Second of all, I'm a huge fan of Rajat Kapoor. Aankhon Dekhi is one of my favorite films and I think he's just such an intellectual genius director. So just an opportunity to work with him was incentive enough. And when he narrated the script to me, it took me a while. I was like, okay, but it's such a unique idea that picture mein se hero gayab ho jata hai. He leaves the negative of the film. Where the hell does he go? Does he come into our world? What happens? And then to play this period actress from that era of the 50s, play Gulabo was so much fun.
Right. So was the allure of playing this period actress one of the main reasons for saying yes to the film?
One of the main reasons to say yes to the film was because I wanted to work with Rajat Kapoor. And the script, because where in Bollywood do you get scripts like this? Traditional Bollywood is so formulaic. They make formula films and very few handful of directors like Rajat Kapoor, they dare to make something different.
Right. Okay. But you are obviously, you look like a proper old school actress. When I was looking at rushes of you, the first images sort of coming at mind were, Meena Kumari ji or Madhubala ji.
Right.
So did you sort of reference your preparation on those actresses? Did you sort of watch their films? How did you go about approaching Gulabo?
Absolutely, because the actresses of 50s, they had a very unique, they were very, very feminine. So when I watched, I studied a lot of Wahida Rahman ji. I watched Pyasa, I watched Kagaz Ki Phool and a lot of her other movies and songs. I watched Pakiza so many times, Meena Kumari ji. And lots of actresses we studied, and what came through was that they were very, very feminine and they were very poetic. Even when they said the dialogue, it was so poetic. Tumhe kuch ho gaya to. And they were so serene and they just conveyed with their eyes and the way they wore their sari, the rose in the hair. It was just so beautiful. Everything, the aesthetics of the 50s were very, very appealing and beautiful.
आपके फिल्म में से hero गायब हो जाता है. That is something that you said.
Right.
But in your real life, have you ever lost something or someone that has caused you a lot of trouble? Have you ever gone through such an episode?
Oh my God, yes. I have. I lost my family when I came to Bombay to be an actress. I lost their support. I lost their love. So I have really experienced it, but that is on a more serious note.
Right.
When I moved to LA, I lost a few precious friendships that I had in India because when you're so out of touch, you kind of tend to lose them. So yes, I have experienced loss like that.
Okay. So Mallika, when you sort of decided to make a career shift, you explored the West, other cinemas. What were you thinking? And now that you look back at it, do you feel what you set out to achieve, you did that? Do you have that creative satisfaction?
Actors never get creatively satisfied. It's always a work in progress, and I'm no different. But after having worked in Bollywood for I think 5-7 years, I thought now it's really time to explore other horizons, different cultures. And I said, why not? What have I got to lose? I've made enough name for myself in India. I've got money. I've got fame. Let's try to go to a new country.
Okay.
And boy, was it a good decision, because America showed me so much love. So much love. I met with President Barack Obama twice. I did a music video with Bruno Mars. I did an independent film called Politics of Love. It was really fruitful.
Right. Did you always have this devil may care attitude even while you were growing up?
Yes.
Yeah?
I did. It was like, when you're growing up, you're so naive at the time because you haven't faced the world. You lead a very protected, sheltered life. I thought I can conquer the world. Dekhi jayegi. Coming from Haryana, that Jat mindset, I rebelled and I packed my suitcase and I set out for Bombay. Dekhi jayegi. But it worked out, luckily for me. And the same attitude I had when I went to the US.
Okay. So, at the peak of your career, Mallika, you've done a film with Jackie Chan.
Yes.
You've done a film called Hiss, which was like, it was like an international film.
Yes.
So at the peak of your career, during those probably 10 years ago, would you have said a yes to a film like RKAY, or would you have reconsidered?
Oh my God, I was waiting for a film like RKAY.
Okay.
I was waiting for it because where are the good roles written for actresses? Now, I always try to look at positive things and I hate to complain about anything, but the reality of the situation is that actresses are not taken seriously in India. The great roles are not written for actresses, they're written for men, which is fine, which is okay. And when a role like Gulabo comes my way, of course I'm going to do it. How many actresses can play a character inspired from the 50s or 60s? I mean, how many actresses they get to play a part like that? It just doesn't happen.
But when you go to the West, do you also feel that patriarchal society also exists over there, or is it a land of more equal opportunity over there?
I would say that patriarchy is everywhere on the whole planet, but it's definitely less in the West.
Okay.
Women are taken definitely more seriously in that society. They have less judgment, and their opinions matter. And if you look at the kind of creative work that's coming out of the West, women have great, interesting parts. There are female-driven films that do really well. I mean, there was a Wonder Woman, come on. That came from the West. Would India ever make a Wonder Woman? I really hope we do. But the possibility is very bleak.
Okay. Okay. I mean, now that you say it, I mean, I know a lot of people have asked you that, times have changed. You used to do those bold roles. And, now there are better roles for women. But, Mallika, still, I personally feel that a lot may have changed, but a lot has not changed as well. You look at so many of the modern actresses who get now trolled on social media.
Right.
For their fashion choices,
right.
for being, bold or outspoken. Do you agree to this? Do you think a lot has changed, but there is still more scope to change?
You're absolutely right. Where you say that, see, for me, a lot has changed only in respect to the way the roles are written for women because of OTT. I'll give you an example. 10 years ago, we could never imagine a 50-year-old actress would headline a series called Delhi Crime and it would become a super hit and audience would appreciate and accept that. Could you ever imagine that in mainstream Bollywood? Out of the question. But with OTT, it's possible. So just that bit has changed. But otherwise, the stereotyping of women and how India perceives women and how men perceive women, that hasn't changed. For me, I think that has regressed. But whenever I say it, I get into so much trouble. So much trouble. I once, I speak very honestly and I'm not hypocritical. So I once told, I think a publication at the Cannes Film Festival that I think Indian society is really regressive for women. And there was such a huge backlash for it. But I was not wrong. With female feticide and female infanticide, honor killings, it is regressive for women. Women don't get equal opportunities as men.
Right.
Far from it.
True. Mallika, again, another question I have for you is, you did dabble with South cinema a little bit, you did Dashabdaram.
Yes.
You've done a couple of those dance numbers as
Yes.
well. Do you feel you could have explored South cinema a little more than you did?
I always wanted to do Malayalam cinema because I love Malayalam films. I love Shobhana, the Malayalam actress, but I don't speak the language. That was a big hindrance for me. Even for Tamil, after Dasavataram, so many roles came to me, but they were all in Tamil language. And for me to just, if you don't speak the language, how do you convey as a character what you're feeling? How do you convey the emotion? That was very tough. So that's why I couldn't do more roles in the South.
Okay. But Mallika, there are so many actresses who've gone from, from the north. So is language really a barrier? Is that like a personal barrier for you?
For me, language is a barrier because what are the tools of an actor? Voice, your dialogue is one of the main things for an actor. And if you don't know the language, then how can you play a character convincingly?
Right.
See, in a dance number, you're not speaking. It's a body language. So that's okay, you can get away with it. But to say the dialogues, you need to know the language.
Okay. Cool. Mallika, again, looking back at your career, it's been what, almost 19 years now?
Oh gosh.
I mean, when you put it in that perspective,
Don't
it seems
say
so long.
19 years. Don't say that. Edit kar dena, please. Edit kar dena ye.
But it is the truth. You've had such a long innings. Looking back, are there any regrets? Would you
None.
have changed any decisions?
None.
No?
I mean, I'm living the dream. Rachit, I mean, what is it? I'm a girl from Haryana with no connections, nothing. And I've come to Bollywood. I've had super hits here. I've got so much name, fame. I worked with Jackie Chan. I've gone to the international film festivals. Cannes, I've been to like 20 times. I've worked with Bruno Mars. I've met President Obama twice. How many girls have these experiences? I always look at the brighter side. And more importantly, I'm economically independent, which is the biggest prize of it all.
One final question, Mallika. If you were to meet your younger self from
Right.
19 years ago,
Right.
what advice would you give her?
I would tell her to have a little restraint while giving interviews. I'll tell her so that you won't get into trouble. Not to be so honest, be a little diplomatic. That's all I will tell her.
Okay, cool. I hope this wasn't a diplomatic one, but thank you so much, Mallika, for having us. And
Thank
best
you.
of luck for RK.
Thank you.